Hello everyone, this is Group 2. I am Akanksh Ramanagara Vijaykumar and my other group mates are Saijyoti Gurulingappa Meti and Jaidev Sai Sunkara. Today we will be discussing about our project 2, which is Moodify. Moodify is a web application that offers personalized song recommendations by analyzing emotional content of users' Pinterest activity. Users can connect to their Pinterest account, allowing app to retrieve their saved pins. These pins are processed through Google Vision API, which detects the emotion conveyed in the images. The detected emotions are then mapped with the music genres or the moods using the Google Gemini API and creating a unique bridge between visual content and auditory experiences. Once the emotional analysis is complete, app uses Spotify API to fetch those songs and later it is stored in Firestore database. Let's talk about the framework. We are using Express, React, and Node.js to build the single page application. For deployment, we are using Google Cloud Run, and for database, we are using Firestore database, which is Firebase. Now we can see the interface. This is the login page. This is the authorization page. This is the dashboard once we log in. This is the genre page, and you can see the emotion detected. Once the genre is selected, the tracks are recommended based on emotion in the genre selected. And this is our logout functionality, and this is our history page where all the pin and the recommended songs of the particular user is stored. Now we'll talk about the overall working of the application. User logs in into Moodify application. Later, user gives request to Pinterest API and pins are fetched in the Moodify application. These pins are later stored in Firestore database, and once the pins are stored in Firestore database, it is sent to Google Vision API to analyze the emotion. Once the Moodify application gets back the emotion, it uses Google Gemini API to define the presets such as acousticness, energy level, danceability, and tempo for the emotion. Once the attributes are defined, later these attributes and the genre selected by user is also sent to Gemini API to recommend five Spotify songs based on these attribute and genre. Later, these five songs are fetched from Spotify API and returned back to Moodify application. We can see how the user can upload or use his pins which are stored in database later to Vision API. Once the emotion is detected, Gemini API recommends the song and these are fetched from Spotify API. Now we'll run the demonstration of the app. So this is our app. This is the login page. This is the authorization page from the Pinterest. Give access. So this is our dashboard where the pins are fetched from the user account. As we can see, there are different faces which are present in the pins. Now I'll give a particular pin action. We can see the emotion detected is joy, and we need to select the genre for the further retrieval of the songs. So I need something like rock. Okay, I go with pop. Submit. Now it is analyzing which songs to recommend. Yeah, so these are the five songs which are recommended in pop based on the user emotion, which is like the pin emotion, which is joy. We can click on the link and this goes to the Spotify song. Also we have the history page where the different pin and the songs are saved by the user. So we see the pop can be seen here. We can also delete the pin and the song which are not required. So delete, it is gone. Now once we go back to dashboard, as we see this was already analyzed. So once I click on the action again, it directly takes me to the recommended song page. It doesn't undergo emotional analysis, and also Gemini API is not called again. It directly takes me to the songs that are stored in Firebase database. Uh, as we can see, this is like the new pin that is stored now, and it is retrieved now. If I click on action, it shows the emotion detected is sorrow. I need something like country, submit. It is analyzing the emotion and the songs to be recommended now. Yeah, these are the 5 songs which are from the country genre and based on the emotion of the pin, which is sorrow. Now if I go to history page, yes, we can see country genre, the pin, and also the tracks that are recommended to the user based on the pin. So also we don't have, like, we have some pins that don't have face like this. If we click on action, it shows no faces detected. So that's the application which recommends the song. Now let's log out. Yep, this is the application Moodify that recommends songs based on the user pins. Now let's see the Pinterest. So this is the Pinterest app Moodify song recommendation. This is the app secret key and app ID, and this is the redirect URL which is our Moodify, which is deployed on Google Cloud Run, and this is the auth callback, which is the backend functionality. Now let's go to Google Cloud Run. This is the Google Cloud Run dashboard. So we can see different metric analysis. This is the URL. Yep. So this is the app that we get once we click on the link. Now let's go to database. So this is the database. This is where users are stored. This is the user ID which is retrieved from the Pinterest and which is kept as the key, and this is the username and profile image. This is the pin emotion, where for a particular pin and which is stored as the key, and which also has the user ID of which user has stored it and the emotion detected from it. And this is the pin user Spotify data which retrieves the genre and related song based on the emotion, and this is the user ID which has stored it, and this is the pin ID, and both user ID and pin ID are stored as the primary key. We can see different songs that are stored. We can see the country which was stored just a few minutes back along with the track. So that's the application, and in the summary, uh, what I learned from this application is how to handle APIs. We use different APIs such as Spotify API to retrieve the songs, Pinterest API which was used to give Pinterest access, and Gemini API which was used to retrieve back the attributes such as acousticness and tempo, and based on those attributes and the genre selected by the user, it is sent back to again the Gemini API. It recommends 5 songs related to it, and these are fetched from Spotify API. We also learned the prompt engineering, where we give different prompts to the Gemini API. One such prompt can be seen in the GitHub. In the back end, we can see the prompt, where based on the attributes from the previous prompt which was given to Gemini API, which was defined, that attributes are stored and those are sent again to Gemini API, and the genre selected by the user both define which are the songs recommended, which songs should be recommended for the user. We also learned how to deploy it on Google Cloud Run, and we also learned how to work with sessions which stores the user access tokens. Some of the future uh, improvements that can be done is load balancing the application, efficient use of the sessions, and we can also include some of the in-app caches such as Redis. So this can reduce the calls to the backend. We can also include another feature of leaderboard where we can publish the playlist along with the pins, and users can other users can see the pins and the playlist that was published by you. Some of the challenges that we faced was working with the sessions and storing the cookies and as well as the access tokens. Also, deploying it on the cloud was a challenge. Also, initially the Pinterest integration was something new that we learned. It was a initial challenge that we faced. Thank you.